Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the Queen City of Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium, right on the banks of the Ohio River. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the San Francisco 49ers. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gunn. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see 2 road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make this.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Carlos Dunlap, the Florida Gator, chopping his way to the quarterback.
They just gave up a sack there. If I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they'll have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at the 20. The first carry for Wendell Smallwood. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Fielded just inside the 30. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
A give to Henry. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 5 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Margus Hunt able to take him down. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
Strong safety Sean Williams really bounced back from injuries in previous seasons to post one of the best years of his NFL career. 5 interceptions in 2018, led the league in interception return yards, provides great veteran leadership, and some real thump coming from his spot in the secondary.
It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the...
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Marquise Goodwin, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Gold able to tack on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
The numbers for Smallwood last week. 19 carries, 61 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Toss play. This is Smallwood. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll make it a second down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And that one complete to Wendell Smallwood. It's a pickup of 6.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot? Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. For the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
A reminder coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York, back in MetLife Stadium. Browns and Jets, 8:15 Eastern on Monday night. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. He's going to fire one deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Williams. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions quote-unquote go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well. Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
2 minutes to play in this first half, 7-3, our score. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Nick Bosa in there to record the second sack of his young NFL career.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, it all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff. Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. And what do you think's going through his head right now? Your team's winning, but you're not having your best game. It probably affects you even when your team is up.
You don't want anyone else to know it, but I think you're right. It bothers a quarterback because they always want to be the one to lead their team to victory with their play as well as their words. And in this case, he's got something he can fall back on. He's contributed, yet at the same time he's thrown an interception. Got to remember the bottom line, though. They're winning, so he knows if he plays better, they might be winning by more.
It's only the second quarter, so he's got some time. A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo to throw. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete.
Pass interference.
Well, let's see who this is on. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spend too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Here we go. 180! Tight end to the right, tight end to the right. Move,
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
53, Mike, 53.
Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So we're at halftime. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
So from inside Niner territory. Now, this is 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They give to Smallwood.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Let's go, baby.
Automatic first down.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And off comes to Smallwood. The pass rush specialist, D. Ford, in on the stop.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
And the ball is knocked out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. They begin with Henry, and he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Open man is Pettis. It's complete. And they work this out past the 25. 23 yards on the play.
Here we go.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. The sack by Marcus Hunt.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. Garoppolo looks to throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Marcus Hunt able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Here's Smallwood as they begin on the ground. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And Rodgers has it over on the right side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Chester Rogers, his first touchdown of the new season, and the Bengals have taken the lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. Back now in Cincinnati. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Buying time to his left. That's Samuel, caught left side. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. A very important extra point there, up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And some strong running. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuffed big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always have the confidence that they just get their assignments down, they get in sync with their runners, and off they went.
On 2nd down, Smallwood. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Defense was expecting run, and they're dealt a pass of over 15 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Tackle that time by Jarquiski Tart.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
A run with Smallwood. Room here to run. Oh, no, he lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
His throw caught right around the 6. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it. So it's not.
Looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals. second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And that'll make this a 6-point game. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Margus Hunt able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watch the game tape.
And got his man complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely look for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
On first down, Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Back to throw. And this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down. Well, I guess at the very least they got the tackle from keeping him out of the end zone.
Yeah, you're looking for that silver lining, aren't you? But guess what? Everything changes now after that big play. They've got a chance to strike.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. They'll give Henry another shot. And across the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Derrick Henry. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. This will be fielded at the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Getting ready to go again. Here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Hey, alert 3, alert 3.
And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. Third down, it's Wendell Smallwood. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. And they will take a knee here. Good bounce-back win. They take the knee. Can't stop the clock defensively. Tough opening week loss, but now 1-1.
Shows that they handled things really well. A lot of teams panic after a week 1 loss, and they start to think that the sky's falling. This team realized there's a long season, and they feel very talented, and they get it done in this one.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game.
So for the Bengals, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.